check. Then he says that
contract is different from that.
You see, Samson, this guy.
Contract is different.
Please, for those of you watching, let's give you proper legal company law education. A company, please, when you were speaking, I didn't interject you once. Bower Rock was registered on 14th January 2025. This is a certificate. 2015, this is it.
Yeah.
Bower Rock then changed its name from Bower Rock Limited to Bower Rock Company Limited on 20th day of November 2023.
Correct.
This is it. A change of name is not the same as change of objects. Please don't embarrass yourself. Because Oppong Nkrumah goes to do a presser, runs away from newsfile, sends you, then you come and embarrass yourself about things you don't know. Now let's come. Then
NUT information superhighway ne so aye bubruja pressure edam kwan MP4 will be edu omuti ahye Sammy Gyamfi ekopie ye join news e news file so on Samson ladi aye nani and ekopie say okwakyerɛkyerɛ ensem as to why and how a Goldbod omo amoka say the IMF ebeka say omo aboka $240 million no Sammy Gyamfi ekobreaki da bebre na press conference last week MP kojo Oppong Nkrumah about one thing say can send basa to food group for no Sammy Gyamfi be break things down moment I say enye enkrofo omo alliances so edi lines am to good no omo to good if you omo nchen no obe break it down lines omo issue break it down the steps are and I with me follow and sign when your license at the gold Ghana ha and a Goldbod so and to gold and for every gram say for enchen na program lesson say I was na uja na empani for copy on where Sammy Gyamfi only CEO Goldbod na hobby Bright Simmons Simon so vice president of the Imani Africa and Mahamatia Abdul Kabiru and so MP for Wale and also a member of the finance committee and a senior hosi and so convener one Ghana movement and trustee of the Ghana coalition against galamsey when nipa ekopiem news file so joy news and then I will see an Sammy Gyamfi once again actually MPP for Edom Oma Shetuom na Oma Mion well me year papa Sammy Gyamfi a brilliant guy. They said they will break it things down now mama chiche we mu efa first phase no better all church them say nipa issue license ama how the operations are said the operating under Goldbod and how so meet me qualify to be a licensed gold buyer Goldbod I say Click TV Africa subscribe mamen we are now like now commenting for what doing better as to say the Sammy Gyamfi break it and down concerning IMF and someone back and they said also how do you see things Sammy Gyamfi is he on the right track and Goldbod also who am saying emfa.
It is the sole gold buyer for the Goldbod.
Yeah, that is also another misconception. You know, a lot of people do not understand how Goldbod's trading model works. Samson, Goldbod has a 4-tier license buying system. 4-tier. The first is the tier 1 buyer. The second is tier 2 buyer. The third is the self-financing aggregator. And the fourth is the aggregator. All these licensed buyers buy gold for the Goldbod. So not only the aggregator buys gold, the self-financing aggregator buys gold. The difference between the self-financing aggregator and the aggregator is that the self-financing aggregator uses his own funds to buy gold for Goldbod, while the aggregator is funded by the Goldbod to buy gold primarily. Okay? Tell them I've not got into these tables yet, so they should wait. Let's go systematically. Now,
no, it's not being shown. It's only
okay. Then the third, the tier 1 buyer is a grassroots buyer who is licensed by the Goldbod to buy gold from licensed small-scale miners. The tier 2 buyer is licensed by the Goldbod to buy gold from both the licensed miner and the tier 1 buyer. So they are all gold buyers. In the year 2025, the first year of operation of the Goldbod, we issued 900 buying licenses. 900. Under our tier 1 license, we issued 269 licenses to qualified applicants. Qualified applicants underlined. Under the tier 2 license, we issued 578 licenses to qualified applicants. Qualified applicants underlined. Under the self-financing aggregator, who are also aggregators, just that they are using their own money to aggregate gold for us, we issued 52 licenses to qualified applicants. Qualified applicants underlined.
Is that where Bar Rock belongs?
No, Bar Rock is the aggregator. And that aggregator category, we issued 1. There were 31 applications for aggregator license in the year 2025. Only Bar Rock met the eligibility criteria for the aggregator license in 2025. That is why Bar Rock is the only person as at now to have been licensed as an aggregator of the Goldbod. But that license application and approval process that the board of Goldbod, the governing board of Goldbod does, not Sammy Gyamfi as CEO. Sammy Gyamfi as CEO and management only recommends. The board grants approval for aggregator license. That process is an ongoing process. It has not terminated. So today we can have 1 aggregator. Tomorrow we may have 0 because we can even revoke his license or suspend his license. Tomorrow we can have 10 because 10 people can meet our eligibility criteria. So people say, Bawa is the only one buying gold. They don't understand. They lack information. We have 900 licensed buyers, all of whom buy gold. Then they say, why is he only the aggregator? He's the only aggregator because he's the only one who has met the eligibility criteria. Let me tell you something. When we say an aggregator, what do people understand by that? There is no license in Ghana that enjoys the benefits of an aggregator license. Some said, have you heard of somebody going for a license in any institution, and after he gets the license, the state gives that person money in the billions to buy gold for the state? If you go for a BDC license, you are going to do your oil business with your own LCs and your own credit lines.
Absolutely.
Same for an OMC license. Okay? But when you say somebody is an aggregator, it means that he's entitled to receive state funds to buy gold. And therefore, there is a strict set of governance, legal, operational, and financial requirements he must meet as a risk mitigation measure. He must have minimum 3 years experience in gold trading. He must have minimum 3 financial statements preceding his application. He must have at least 3 buying offices in the country. He must have at least a bullion van and so on. But the most important requirement is this. He must present to the Goldbod a bank guarantee or an advance payment guarantee from a recognized financial institution that accords with the insurance policy of the Goldbod to secure the capital support he seeks from the Goldbod. You understand? We are not some zombie sitting at Goldbod where any Tom, Dick, and Harry comes and says, I want an aggregator license that will entitle me to use taxpayers' money to buy gold. And you say, I've given you a license. We are not sharing
and of 30,
aggregator license like you share
of 31 applicants. Bar Rock is only one. That
and I'm saying it on Newsfile today. Yes, I'm saying he has given us an advance payment guarantee covering a trade capital support of 2 billion cedis. 2 billion cedis. And that is why the board approved the application. If some people had done that when they had the opportunity to do gold trading in this country, they will not be chasing the aggregators today for causing financial losses to the states.
That's actually true.
Look, we are ready and happy to work with anybody who meets our eligibility criteria for aggregator license.
So the other 30 or 29 that did not qualify, what were the incidents the disqualified them?
The main critical thing is the guarantee.
They couldn't provide that.
And I'm here, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, you have addressed a press conference. I'm challenging you. If you can give me one company who has applied for a Goldbod aggregator license met all the requirements, especially gave us a guarantee from a bank or an insurance company, and we refused his application, put it out today. I'm challenging them. They don't have. And let me tell you something that people don't know. You see, the president was gracious enough to send me to PMMC on the 22nd of January this year. By the 3rd of February...
Last year,
sorry. By the 3rd of February, I began to continue, if I can put it that way, PMMC's gold trading arrangement with the BOG. Now, between February and June 2025, even though the Goldbod was established on the 2nd of April this year, we had not, ushered in our licensing regime until the 21st of June. So we were still under the PMMC license regime from April, May to 21st of June. Now, if you add that to the PMMC era, February and March, you're talking about a period of about 4 or 5 months. During that period, the PMMC, under Sammy Gyamfi's leadership, had 3 aggregators. 3 aggregators. That time, we are not ushered in this licensing regime with a requirement of a guarantee and all that. 3.
you have a board.
I didn't even have a board by that time.
Who are these aggregators? Because questions are being raised about particular persons who have been, or companies who have been exempted when they may have, qualified to enjoy some of this.
Now, we had 3. These 3 aggregators, 2 of them engage in, I'll call, to put it mildly, regulatory infractions. And so they were suspended in June of 2025. Their suspension has since been lifted. And so they have now applied for aggregator licenses, but they've not been able to give us the bond, the guarantee that has to secure whatever money we have to give them. But you must understand that, you see, every week we buy gold to the tune of over 3, 4, 5 billion cedis. And this transaction is mainly cash. It's not a joke. So you cannot take taxpayers' money and give it to anybody without the necessary risk mitigation measures. You understand? They've not met that. We've lifted the suspension, so they have applied for Tier 2 buying licenses. And we have granted them Tier 2 buying licenses. I'm talking about the 2.
Okay.
So as we speak, they are Tier 2 licenses. But let me go to the next issue. And that will be my final point on this Bower Rock matter, so that we put the issues to rest.
Right.
Somebody says that, so is it only Bower Rock who is funded by the Goldbod to buy gold? No. That is not, it's not only Bower Rock. This is how the system works, Samson. The aggregator received direct funding from the Goldbod. And we have secured our risk by taking our guarantee. The insurance company has also taken from him a counter indemnity, which means that if you toy with this money and you lose this money, yes, we will pay to Goldbod, but we will pursue you for the money. You understand what
I get it.
So we give the money to that aggregator. Then that aggregator, at his own risk, now looks for licensed Tier 2 buyers of the Goldbod. He is not allowed to finance or to fund a Tier 1 buyer, because a Tier 1 buyer doesn't even have a buying office. But a Tier 2 buyer is well structured, has an office. So the Goldbod contract with him says you can fund Tier 2 buyers that you find credible at your own risk. So Bower Rock has 53 Tier 2 buyers.
Licensed by the Goldbod.
Licensed by the Goldbod that he funds on a daily basis. Because when you give him the money, he must give the money to other licensees to go and buy gold. That is Goldbod money. These 53 Tier 2 licensees also have other Tier 2 licensees and Tier 1 licensees that they also give the money to supply them. That is how money trickles down in a de-risked manner.
Okay.
So Bower Rock is not the only person funded by the Goldbod. All the licensed buyers get Goldbod funds, but through Bower Rock. If we have 3 aggregators, it will be through all the aggregators. And the two aggregate, sometimes you hear people say that, oh, Goldbod has given Bower Rock $10 billion to buy gold and all that. Let me prove to you the quantities that the two aggregators that we had to suspend, they bought within the 4 months we worked with them. One of them bought gold, supplied us gold worth 13 billion cedis. The other supplied us gold worth 11.8 billion cedis. You understand? So, and this is money we gave them.
That's cumulatively over
a period of 4 or 5 months. So this, I believe, answers all the questions on the Bower Rock issue. And if anybody still has questions, we welcome that. We are not averse to criticism. What we don't accept are people who go out there to engage in play jandam. If you do that, we will expose you.
If you are just joining us on
Sammy Gyamfi to me say oboa ne ho yie pa e na ode eba station wo na or tuja o chekire mu ewie ya na o san ba mu say de eye ya ema Bank of Ghana eba mu say da bi e ka Ghana e de no say ekotua e ka na aya na e de dollars e na etua ene say dollar ne so no say bi akofom sid ni so na say ahode no enye strong say ene yemfa yesi kan nkasa ento gold no ento gold in cedis ento gold in cedis we are na eden ya transport akoton in dollars ekoba sa as eden faso ba as compared to say ye dollars no na eto na sabio enkofo no company no to gold no na e foreigners na free obi fini krom ba na oban so gold dollars ni oto no abotifo no on tone e Bank of Ghana oto no abotifo no at a cheaper rate eno no emfa faso no emma oman ni mu enti en reflect e wo the system ni then the Bank of Ghana e buy with the plans and ideas of the Goldbod no and na come together say beto gold na e Ghana ha no issue license e the man for locally and how we betimi meet criteria no na why then waba abeto gold ni bi we anyhow emma Bank of Ghana eba mu na eto gold na nkasa e Ghana high this is eto na makoton e in dollars o check sa ensem we nyina mu yenti eno so emfa ya.
I said, okay, now we can borrow for dollars again because you have to repay the debt, and when you are repaying you have to pay it in dollars. You have to go and find dollars to repay. So the Bank of Ghana said, okay, we will use cedis to buy our gold in Ghana. And we will sell the gold on a weekly basis, T+4, for dollars, and give the dollars to the market. So the purpose of the program has always been foreign exchange accumulation to meet market FX needs and to build reserves. For what purpose? For the purpose of national economic stability. The purpose is not for the central bank to be trading gold like a licensed buyer of the Goldbod trades gold, buying at discounts and margins to make profits. That was not the purpose. So when the Bank of Ghana started this, they didn't have any Goldbod in the picture. The market was dominated by foreigners. And these foreigners were not repatriating FX inflows back to Ghana. They were bringing dollars through the Abochi man to do what is called Hawala. So it was not impacting the finance sector, the financial sector. So, and these people buy gold from 1957 till now. Gold is bought in the market at say 1% to 2% discount. But the exchange rate is always market rate, the informal retail rate. So Bank of Ghana says, I need a strategy to get the gold instead of these foreigners. So Bank of Ghana, through the Minister for Lands, Samuel Ebujinapo, and I can give you the statement, announced to gold traders that henceforth, buy gold, but you can't export. Sell the gold to PMMC for and on behalf of BOG. And that BOG will buy the gold at spot price. That was the incentive to encourage people to give their gold to the state so that we can get the much needed forex. Now that obviously creates cost for the BOG, and the BOG knows that. And that is why I said the associated cost, what somebody would call loss, is an intentional and strategic expense for superior economic benefits. They know that this will be the cost of buying as spot, because we are buying as spot, offtake discount that BOG has to give to off-takers is cost. fees it has to pay to its aggregators like Goldbod is cost. Purity losses that it suffers between SRF assay and fire assay is cost. So they know that they will attain cost, but they know that the benefits of getting the much needed effects will be far superior. That is it. And that is why Samson, it has never been an issue for the BOG incurring costs under G4R.
So what you are telling us is that you're practically justifying, the program despite its downside costs.
Exactly.
For as long as it props up the economy the way it has done in the last, year, we are good. So when the IMF was speaking,
and on the point of spot price, just one second. You see, Ghana, a lot of time, we must learn from experience. Let your producers, they can put on the screen the table I gave them of good ASM gold exports, small-scale gold exports from 2018 to 2025. You see something very interesting. In 2021, the MPP introduced a 3% withholding tax on small-scale gold. Small-scale gold exports output declined sharply that year. Look at the table. Okay, I can see it here. It's not on the main screen. From 39.3 tons in 2020, worth $2 billion, it dropped to 3.4 tons. 3.4. The whole year 2021, Ghana got 3.4 tons. Single 3.4 tons from small scale sector. Why? Because of a 3% discount in the form of withholding tax. And FX inflows reduced from $2 billion in 2020, COVID year, $2 billion, to $185 million. So learning from this experience, the Bank of Ghana does not pursue its own accounting profits, because the Bank of Ghana is a banker of last resort, is the banker of government. It is mandated to achieve price stability and support government's economic policy. They are there to build reserves to ensure that your currency is strong. And when you achieve that, the benefits you get renders any accounting loss infinitesimal. And when we get there, I'm going to explain to you what those benefits are.
We need to get there as quickly as we can. And for those of you just joining, this is Newsfile, and I've got my other guests here, but the plan, the arrangement was that we will take sufficient time with Sammy.
You said you give me 1 hour.
The CEO of the Goldbod, to allow him sufficient time to explain all the matters that have come up before we bring in our panelists to also ask him questions and bring their perspectives on this issue. So, is there any plan to eliminate or reduce this?
First of all, let's talk about the
cost
benefits
and losses.
I want to talk about the benefits. Then I will tell you when we say cost, G4R cost or loss, what it is.
Okay.
And I will tell you how it can be reduced
quickly
or eliminated. Number one, let's assume we maintain that the Bank of Ghana is right. We must wait for the external audit before we can make any specific pronouncement on losses. It's important, because any figure you throw out there may prove to be inaccurate after an audit is carried out.
The IMF did the wrong thing?
Oh, I think that, because they did a fifth review and they have to give some form of report, you can't blame them. But I think that they should have qualified that figure and stated that it is tentative and subject to audit. I think that should have been, objectively speaking, no disrespect, but I think that should have been the approach. But the issue, what are the benefits? Assume, let's even grant them, we've incurred that, and let's even grant kojo Oppong Nkrumah $300 million. That is the cost. What has been the benefits? $10.8 billion foreign exchange inflows. $10.8 billion. Because of that, we have met our foreign reserve target for 2028 in 2025, 3 clear years ahead of time. When MPP was signing on to the IMF program, they said they will attain $11 to $12 billion reserves in 2028. We have done that in 1 year. Because of that, for the first time in about 3 decades, the Ghana cedi has annually appreciated against its trading currencies. 40% appreciation in your adult life. When do you recall something like that happen?
I've been unsure if this is organic and this will stay.
Very organic. 40%. We have brought the retail dollar rate from about 16 cedis to now below 12 cedis. Interbank from about 15, 14.7 to now 10.4.
The Fitch prediction was that we would have gotten to
15.5.
15.5.
They are all shocked.
By the end of
even
this,
the IMF is shocked. And because of that, our external debt has reduced by over 100 billion cedis. External debt. That is why debt to GDP has moved from 726 billion cedis, constituting 61% of GDP as of December 2024, to now 620 billion cedis, constituting 45% of GDP. Debt servicing, even before I talk about debt servicing, let's stay here. Lending rates, or even like the Ghana reference rate, which is the benchmark for lending, for loans, has reduced from 28% to 15.9%. Something, you understand? Inflation has declined for 11 consecutive months, from 23.8% to 6.3%. Food inflation declined from 27.8% to 6.6%. And according to AGRA, food prices have reduced by averagely 32%. If you look at debt servicing this year to last year, 2025, external debt, the Ministry of Finance had to service $3.6 billion, $1.8 billion to IPPs, and $1.8 billion to Eurobond, debts.
Actually now
about 3.6. You see,
2.5 billion right now.
That money, if we were servicing it at 16 to the dollar, which is what we took, or even assume that, because if we had not done this, the dollar would have crossed 25 cedis, like Dennis Miracles Abuaje said. If we had not done what we did, and so it would have even been far more. But even if you peg it at 16, as compared to what we are doing now, we've saved over 16 billion cedis on debt servicing. This is real saving to the taxpayer.
Does this include the $709 million
yes,
that has just been
because
paid?
That $709 million,
which the state has saved 3.5 billion.
Yes, because that $709 million, the finance minister would have had to convert cedis at a higher exchange rate than now.
Yes.
So that difference is what I'm telling you.
At least if we are using the Fitch,
yes,
we would have had to convert to 15.5. But today,
and the saving is still more than 10 billion.
Today it's at 10.1.
Exactly.
Yeah, but benchmark actually to budget.
We even benchmark it at 11. The saving is more than 10 billion cedis.
Okay.
Pick the import bill. As at September, $11.8 billion. If importers had to import $11.8 billion worth of goods at averagely 16 cedis to the dollar, and mind you, 16 is even conservative, because without this program, dollar would have been 25.
It's going to be around 18 billion.
But you pick even the 11.8 at 16 as compared to 11, the saving is over 50 to 60 billion cedis to consumers. You understand? So this is not a joke. The impact has been a significant national economic gain. The cost is infinitesimal. But when we say cost, when we say losses, what are we talking about? Sometimes people think that Bank of Ghana has taken taxpayers' money, gone to buy gold, sold the gold, and we lost $240 million. Somebody has stolen money, or somebody has mismanaged. That is not it. When we say G for our losses, let me explain to you. From 1957 to date, gold is bought in the gold market in Ghana at retail market exchange rates.
You said that already.
The euphemism for black market. Now, Bank of Ghana and Goldbod, we are buying gold from a non-bank market, which is a market made up of small-scale miners and gold dealers. And when we go, we have to buy the gold at that retail market exchange rate. Goldbod has sought to bring it to interbank. But anytime we peg the price to interbank, we realize that prices in neighboring countries like Cote d'Ivoire become higher than ours by, say, 600 cedis per pound. So all the gold goes to Cote d'Ivoire. And sometimes smugglers are offering prices at informal retail rates. So your interbank rate will not get you any gold. So when we buy the gold at the retail market exchange rates, and Bank of Ghana gets the dollar proceeds, the accountant and auditor comes to audit their books. The accountant must now convert the dollar inflow into cedis. The dollar is not really converted into cedis, but for accounting purposes, it must be converted into cedis because Bank of Ghana's books are in cedis. When the accountant is converted, the accountant says, my hands are tied. I know that the acquisition rate of the dollar is retail market exchange rate. But by law, because you are the central bank, I can only convert the dollars at interbank or BOG rates, which is always lower.
Abusunya Click TV Africa. Sammy Gyamfi injection more de akokoma ni newspaper for no na abusunya ene wate no wasoja agu Kojo Oppong Nkrumah so wasoja agu Mr. Samson like as wasoja agu obia so and as wa try ne ono ankasa no ba bia wote no wahu se eye jatanum na wote no enti ohunu se the old na agro because oye lose jatano ebe mene no ani bia asondia bia ani penanim go ase enti no ase wono so why careful why extra careful e wa ade bia oye ho we break things down na okọ social media ne so amanfo ebo na ba so ebi oh why ade na ogu na nka na kasin ka Kojo Oppong Nkrumah na kasin ko ho na so wadwane Kojo Oppong Nkrumah antimi ama o wadwane Kojo adwane e na wasoma Abusunya Click TV Africa chechire wadwen e wo ase o comment section ase ho na say ni besi bia no ni se de ohunu no chechire wadwen wo ho Kojo ohwe ensem ya ekosu ya na sebe Kojo Oppong Nkrumah so press conference obeye anyhow enema eko na onso odwen ho sen onso odwen oni Sammy Gyamfi ya adwen ana Goldbod na is it on the right track? Click TV Africa abusunya yada wase se onyanya abe na trust na ohwe adwuma die message subscribe mami we are now like no comment but mo de e kire wadwen e wo comment section wo ye besan hia